What's going on, everyone? What's cracking? Check out that Golden Gate Bridge. Check out that view. Let me readjust the camera for you guys. Peep that out. Welcome back to the channel. Like the title says it, how I lost 200 pounds. How I went from a fat fuck to a fit fuck. And if this is your first time here, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button down below. Don't be a player hater. Anyways, so today's video topic, ooh, check out that view. Check that out. Is how I lost 200 pounds and how you too could lose 200 pounds. Check out the city. Damn, that's beautiful. Anyway, so I was able to lose 200 pounds without the assistance of a personal trainer, and it was through trial and error, right? And I used to weigh 350 pounds, so you guys have an idea on how much weight I've lost, and now I'm around 175 to 185 lean muscle mass, right? But I wasn't always like this. This has been a 10-year journey. I'm about to hit a decade in a few months. I'll do a decade video update on my physical fitness journey, and I don't like to call it a journey because it sounds kind of like cliche, right? Kind of corny. But yeah, how I lost 200 pounds. So if you're looking to lose weight, you're obese, you're a fat fuck, you've tried quote unquote tried everything on the books. You're confused about misinformation, dieting, exercising, what to do, what not to do. You've come to the right place. Should you hire a personal trainer or should you not hire one? And you've come to the right place. So the reason I'm making this video is because the vast majority of fitness influencers and what would you call it, dietitians, if you want to call them that, or just anyone in the fitness and health industry out there, do they know how to maintain? Well, the reason I'm making this because those people, right? Theoretically, they're correct on their theories, right? And a lot of the times they're incorrect, right? People just don't know it, and it kind of, the misinformation with the accurate information gets mixed up together, and it's all slop, right? And that's what I was facing with, where earlier in my early years when I started exercising, I didn't know how to differentiate the misinformation from the actual information. And looking back, and even to this day, there isn't YouTube channels dedicated for obese people or just people who are just overweight to the extremes like I was, right? To telling you guys the do's and don'ts when it comes to health and fitness if you're pretty much excessively overweight. Look no further, because you've gone to the right video. So I'm gonna break this video down. It might be a little longer than usual. Bear with me. I'm trying to stay, I'm driving, so I want safety is my main priority right now. I don't want to run anyone over. I don't want to crash. So yeah, so number one, you have to understand food and the food supply and what that is, right? And what do I mean by this? So when I used to be a fat ass, right? And everything's food. We all kind of know, consciously or unconsciously, junk food is bad. Certain foods are good for you, certain foods are junk food, and we all know to stay away from fast food joints like Jack and a Crack, McDonald's, all those good fat, good for your taste buds, right? They taste good, the fast food places, but they're not necessarily good for you. We all know that, right? It's just the foods that sneak into our diet that pretty much makes us retain weight, or it doesn't allow us to lose the weight we want to, or as rapidly as we would like to. I don't know if that makes any sense. So, with that being said, right? Number one, you have to understand the human diet properly, because if you don't understand that, you're just going to be going in circles and in circles and in circles for no reason. And dieting goes further than just eating a whole bunch of salads, right? And this is what I mean by understanding your diet. You have to do your own research, right? What works best for you, right? I've tried the vegan, I've tried the carnivore, I've tried the keto, I've tried it all, right? I've tried the fast food diet, right? And that shit wasn't working. I blew up like a blimp, But, and I stress this because I know what it's like to be 350 pounds, having the desire and the foresight to lose the weight, but in the back of your mind you'd be like, fuck, I want to eat that bag of chips. Fuck, I want to go to McDonald's real quick and eat me a double. I know what that's like. And I'll go back to these fitness gurus, right, where they sell you a dream and the misinformation. They don't know what it's like. A lot of these people that, fitness has been introduced to them since they were kids or just at a young age, so they know how to maneuver certain, they've already been accustomed to eating the right way. I don't know if that makes any sense. The Balboa Cafe, I think that's Gavin Newsom's restaurant, or he's like a co-owner, if you guys didn't know. This is, we're in San Francisco now. This is Pacific Heights. If not one of the wealthiest neighborhoods out here in the city. But the nightlife is kind of dope out here, I ain't gonna lie. But anyways, back to the shit though. Most of these influencers, they don't know what it's like to wanting to lose the weight, wanting to not eat the food, but still having those cravings. And I'll go back to understanding diet. I understand and not necessarily my diet is gonna work for you guys, but if you're an overweight person, you definitely need to do your research on a diet, right? And what do I mean by research? I don't mean by calories in, calories out, because that does work. If you do the math, you could, and I've done this where I went a whole month eating in and out, and I was able to stay shredded. Do I recommend it? Of course not. I felt like crap. But my point is that the quality of foods, and what do I mean by quality, right? I don't consume anything that wasn't grown or it wasn't killed. And if it comes in a package, right? So you'll see a lot of time, because what you guys don't understand is a lot of these foods, like the breads and the pastas, or just the protein bars and a lot of the shit that comes in packaging, they have to put a lot of chemicals in order for shelf life purposes, right? And what that does is that shit's not good for your body, right? We weren't meant to consume chemicals, but that's a whole different story, right? Where I'm going with this is anything that falls outside of that realm of foods, of whole foods. If it's not a whole food, I won't eat it. A single ingredient whole food, I won't eat it. And it's not necessarily that I'm against like carbohydrates, right? Like breads and shit. It's the fact that I'm against the ingredients that go into making the carbohydrates. What do I mean by this? So, a loaf of bread today in 2025 isn't the same loaf of bread that it was 50, 100 years ago, 150 years ago. You know, the amount of ingredients and chemicals and pesticides that go into producing this bread isn't the same that it was 100 years ago. I don't know if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense to you guys. But that is the essence of my diet. If it wasn't grown, if it wasn't killed, and if it comes in a package, I won't eat it. So it has to be grown and it has to be killed for me to consume it. And what that does, you know, it cleanses your body. I don't consume anything that's highly processed. I don't give a shit if it comes, you know, you hear a lot of people talking about calories and macros and this and that. I don't count calories, I don't count macros, and I don't even know how to count macros, to put it to you guys that way. And it makes sense for me, right? It's easier for me, you know, to not count just because I'm on the move. I'm everywhere. I gotta go to school. I gotta go to work. I gotta exercise. I have to meet up with friends. I have to meet up with business partners. All of that good stuff. So I don't necessarily have time to sit there and count macros and calories and this and that and yeah. Anyways, so what that does, right? You eating a whole food diet, it cleanses you. And it cleanses you from all these pesticides and chemicals that they put to make the food think that you're... So let me backtrack. So once you don't consume these foods, right? Your body pretty much doesn't crave these foods anymore, do they? Yeah, of course. But the longer you go without the foods, the longer your body rejects them, if that makes sense. So I'll give you guys an example. I haven't ate any highly processed foods in about like 5-6 years. Just before COVID, right? That's when I started transitioning to a whole food diet. And you know, I would get these I'm gonna sound like a druggie, like a relapse, where I'll go and get me a box of Oreos, right? Or I'll give me some bread, or I'll eat me a cookie and an ice cream. And I don't have a cheat day or a cheat meal, right? Or on my cheat days, right? And what would happen is that my body would reject these foods, like the breads, the pastas, the which you would call, you know, highly processed foods, and I would get extremely sick, stomach aches, you know, all that crap, inflammation, and you know, the diabetic fatigue. If you haven't watched my video, I used to have a diabetic fatigue, and the diabetic fatigue kicks back in whenever I consume these foods. So I made it, I made a decision not to consume these foods again, and it's made my weight loss journey a way smoother transitioning into a fit lifestyle, a healthy fit lifestyle, if that makes sense to you guys. And that's how I was able to lose 200 pounds with the proper diet. And you have to understand diet. If you're fat, if you're a fat fuck, if you're a fat ass, and you want to lose the weight, trust me, I understand where you guys are coming from. And it's the foods, it's the chemicals, and it's the pesticides and all the combination of all that, and the sugars. Sugar's a big contributor, where if you don't cut out sugar and these highly processed foods, you're not gonna move forward. I can guarantee you. Is there people who are able to consume these products and stay lean? Yeah. I personally wasn't that guy. You know, I wasn't that person that can do that. And that's why I tell you guys, this is the easy way out. And there is no easy way out. Just to clarify, for weight loss, understanding the diet. You know, I know what it's like to overconsume and eat, not being able to stop. And that's why I go back to understanding the diet and how I lost 200 pounds. And I tell people, right? And I'm going to give you guys, I'll go back to what my diet is. It's a whole food diet, and it's usually it's a more carnivore diet, or it's a high fat protein diet with maybe 10% of carbohydrates in the form of fruits, fresh, natural, organic fruits, and that's it. I don't know, you know, majority of my meals, you know, and you do your research on what that looks like for you. But if I woke up today and I was 300 pounds, that's exactly what I would do. You know, now my diet's a little bit more refined, where I'll include fasting. So my diet program isn't just a diet program. It's a lot of components into it for the diet, for my diet program to work. And what do I mean by this? I include fasting, you know, exercise, and the proper nutrition. You combine those three things, that's how I'm able to create the perfect diet, if that makes sense. For me, I'll go long periods of time without eating. Every time I do eat, when I break my fast, I make sure it's something healthy and nutritious with some protein, whole foods, right? And exercise. You know, weight training and full mobility exercises. And what do I mean? You know, squats, overhead presses, anything to do with calisthenics, body weights, kettlebell exercises, that type of stuff. I'll go deeper if you guys leave a comment on what type of exercises to do. But it's diet isn't something that you just restrict yourself to lose weight. And I'll throw you guys some before I end this video, I'll throw you guys some gems too. So, like I said earlier on this video, I know what it's like to be overweight and not being able to stop eating. I know what that's like. And I sympathize with you guys. And how I was able to beat this was like, okay, I could eat, for example, back in the days, I was able to eat a family size, I can even eat two family size bags of chips and Doritos. You know, the big ones, the giant bags, yeah, those. And if there was a third one, I'll eat that motherfucker too. That's the type of fucking animal I was. So, you know, after doing research and all that, I came across Dr. Berg, and you know, and I'll keep going back to understanding diets, right? And these foods are engineered to trick you into tricking you and the body to think that you're still hungry when you're really not. You know, these giant bags are filled with thousands of calories, so you just keep eating and eating and eating, and the sugars and the salt kind of helps you suppress your hunger. But anyways, I don't want to get into the whole science, because I'm not really the right guy to explain that, right? But I reversed it, right? So what did I do? When because you know, just because you eat a bag of chips right now doesn't mean, you know, a few hours from now, you know, those chemical effects aren't still within your system telling you that you're still hungry, right? So what I did to combat that was, every time I'm hungry, and this is prior to me starting fasting, right, I'll just eat protein and a fruit, protein and some fruit. And what that did was, it pretty much got me in the habit of, it got rid of the habit of me having to consume highly processed garbage like chips and pastas and all that kind of, or just like, you know, junk food. And it was able to help me to, maybe this will work for you, maybe it's not going to work for you, but it helped me to avoid these fast foods that pretty much don't do, or junk foods that pretty much don't have any benefit, no health benefit, they don't even taste good. That's another one. Or you've been eating the shit so long you think it tastes good. Like, you know, 2-3 years ago, I had a Dorito for the first time just to see what it was like, and it just tastes like crap, right? But it, you know, us humans are creatures of habit, right? So as soon as I took the bite from that Dorito, I was like, damn, you know, even though I knew it tastes like shit, my body told me like, oh, you know what? Eat some more. I didn't do it because I had the self-control not to do it anymore, but just so you guys have a perspective on how these foods are engineered. Anyways, that's it. Check out the city. We're going into the Tenderloins right here, and yeah, that's my story on how I lost 200 pounds. You know, just it's easier than people realize. You just got to have the proper information. You know, don't believe these morons that are telling you, oh yeah, you count calories and you should be good as long as you're on a calorie deficit. Nah, fuck that. It's the quality of the food. I would rather have you consume excess calories on good, healthy, nutritious, organic, grass-fed beef, you know, or just food, you know, pasture-raised, eggs, all that good stuff, than for you to eat, you know, be on a calorie deficit, but you're eating fucking granola bars that were manufactured at a warehouse or on that assembly line. You guys get my point? I hope I was clear, very clear on this video. If you guys want me to go a little bit deeper, I'll go a little bit deeper on dieting and how to lose weight and proper exercises, and or what my full day's diet is. But yeah, I lost over 250 pounds, or just 200 pounds. I was 300, I think at my heavy was like 370, and I feel great. I feel energetic. I don't have diabetic fatigue. You know, I became a better human, and now I'm just trying to pass on this information to you guys. You know, just in case, you know, I'm just yip-yapping at this point. Check that out. Check all these crackheads, and like, it's trapped out here. Look at this fucking dolphin just walking in the middle of the street. Like, come on, man. Get out the way. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.